loud.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Platt High School. My name is Dan Morrison-Corsetti, and I'm proud to be the principal here. I would like to welcome my fellow Panther students, as well as our friends from Maloney across town as well. They're very excited to be able to see this historic occasion. I also would like to welcome all of our elected representatives, Board of Ed members, members of the legislature, Mayor Scarpati, Speaker Ritter, Lieutenant Governor Weissowitz, Governor Lamont. Welcome to Platt High School. At this time, I would like to welcome Lieutenant Governor Weissowitz up to kick things off. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much to the City of Meriden for having us on this beautiful day at this beautiful school. We are thrilled to be here, and I want to give a shout out to the fabulous Meriden delegation, Representative Hilda Santiago, Representative Mike Quinn, and Representative Jack Fazzino, who are ardent advocates for you. And good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much to Governor Lamont for your leadership, and thank you to our educators, our students, and our community leaders and legislators who join us today. And you're going to meet some of the fabulous legislative leaders who helped craft this budget in a minute. And Representative Walker, your timing is fabulous. Come up to the front, lady. You always have to be extremely respectful of the two women that lead our Appropriations Committee. So today, we are here on a very historic day. We are signing a budget that delivers real relief for our families. It strengthens our state's future, and it invests in the people that make our state work. This budget reflects a bipartisan collaboration and shared commitment to both fiscal responsibility, also paired with smart and strategic investment. Our children are at the center of the budget, and our children are our future. And that is exactly why we are here today, because we are providing $193 million in additional supplemental education grants for towns and cities. And this includes over $162 million in direct municipal aid and added support for charter schools, magnets, and VOAG schools as well. Since 2019, our education cost-sharing grants have increased by nearly $445 million, an 18% increase in support for public schools across our state. We are fully funding priorities that matter to our families, like $12 million for universal free breakfast. Maybe, Mayor, you'll invite us back next year and we can announce free lunch. Just saying. Hold that thought. Okay. So we are also using funds to expand access, support providers, and help tens of thousands of children enter school ready to learn. This budget continues our strong track record of paying down our unfunded liabilities. We will make more than $1 billion in additional pension payments in both fiscal 26 and 27, and that's going to generate about $100 million in annual savings from debt service over the next 25 years. And combined over Governor Lamont's tenure, our state has made $11 billion in extra pension payments, which saves us over $800 million a year. It's like paying down your mortgage early. So our budget sends a very clear message that our state is stable, fiscally responsible, growing. our economy and moving forward. We are investing in children, we're investing in families, in our workforce, and in the strength of our communities. And we're doing it all while maintaining responsible fiscal practices that have helped us rebuild over the past almost 8 years and strengthened our long-term outlook. So I want to thank everyone here who helped in this really important, bipartisan, forward-thinking, and focused budget. And we are so very proud to now hear from, just a minute, here we go, from the fearless leader for Meriden, Mayor Scarpati. Mayor.
Good morning and welcome. This is certainly an exciting day, not only for the city of Meriden, but the entire state of Connecticut. First off, my gratitude and thanks to Governor Lamont, Lieutenant Governor Bysewicz, and as Lieutenant Governor noted, our fierce delegation, of whom I have great friendships with, but a great relationship with when it comes to working through the many issues in Meriden as well as across the state. One of the very first meetings I had when it came down to deliberations on what to do with this year's budget was with a cohort of mayors from across the state of Connecticut in meeting with Speaker Ritter in his office up in Hartford, talking about the importance of education funding. That message then trickled down not only through our community, but communities across this state where students rose up right here in Meriden, letting sure that your voice was heard at the highest of levels at the Capitol. And we're here today in part because of your work, and thank you for making your voices heard. Give our students a round of applause. Specific to Meriden, what this budget means is a lower mill rate for all of our taxpayers. In light of the budget that is being signed today, we were able to lower our mill rate to below 30 for the first time in years. We have seen a record increase in education funding, which was the request of the mayors and I when we met with the speaker and our discussions with the governor, as well as the message with our legislators, to the tune of nearly $8 million specific to Meriden will be coming in new funds from this budget, an additional $1.5 million in municipal aid. All of this allowing us to reduce that mill rate, making Meriden more affordable for our taxpayers. What it did do for the average resident with that median income and that average home price, it's going to save you upwards of $150 a year in taxes that you otherwise would be paying, and that's thanks to the governor, lieutenant governor, and our legislative leaders that are in the room today. It's real dollars going back into your pocket. And lastly, as we stand here in my alma mater, Platt High School, it's not lost on any of us, as the leader of this community, the great work that our administrators and our teachers are doing. You can't do the work you're doing without the funding, without the tools you need to do your job. We can only take it so far on a local level. The state is stepping up, and I know the governor has even greater plans for next year because he's going to be reelected, and we're going to make sure he's at the helm as he leads us into a more prosperous Connecticut in the future. But we are seeing our district outperform districts we've never seen before. We just announced our third blue ribbon school in the last 10 years. And that is because of our educators in this district making sure we're prioritizing our students. The superintendent, who you're going to hear from next, is going to speak specifically to what this funding means for our schools, our staff, and our students. But on behalf of the entire city of Meriden, Governor, Lieutenant Governor, and all of our leaders, thank you for your continued work and investment in our communities. Thank you.
Mayor, thank you so much. And now we'll hear from the Meriden Superintendent of Schools, Mark Benigni.
Thank you. I want to thank Governor Lamont, Lieutenant Governor Bysowitz, our state legislators, our Board of Education and city officials, our teachers union, our students and families, and everyone who supported an increase in education funding. This additional funding will enable us to improve student academic outcomes by increasing classroom supports, embracing social emotional learning, and supporting special education. This funding has allowed us to restore 20 positions that were initially cut from the Board of Education budget. 15 of those positions were classroom teachers. And for the first time in my 16 years as the superintendent of the Meriden Public Schools, we'll be adding 27.6 new support staff positions to meet the needs of our students. Thank you all. These student supports include tutors, climate specialists, behavior technicians, paraeducators, and many other staff members who will work directly with our students and make sure that their needs are met here in the Meriden Public Schools. In closing, I want to thank all of you for supporting public education and for putting our students first. Thank you for being with us today.
Thank you, Mark, and I do believe we have just about the entire legislative leadership, the very top leaders in our state, and I am honored to introduce Senator Martin Looney.
Thank you, Madam Lieutenant Governor. This is very appropriate that we celebrate the signing of the budget here today with Governor Lamont because school funding, municipal aid were the major theme of this budget that we passed in the 2026 session. The amount of new money for education is a substantial infusion for the second year of the biennium. And we heard the outcry from the towns and the struggles that they were experiencing. Again, at meetings in my office with the mayors of New Haven and Bridgeport and Hartford and Waterbury and Danbury and Stamford and other places who made the case very substantially about what was needed and the struggles they were facing, and we responded to that. Also, one of the things that I'm most proud of, and I think the governor should certainly take a bow on, was maintaining the commitment that we made the previous year to funding the Early Childhood Endowment, because all of you who are teachers know that too often students come to school, to kindergarten, unprepared to be there and are struggling from that day on, and that kindergarten teachers know who's had a quality preschool program and who has not, and some of those students never catch up. They become frustrated in school, they become disciplinary problems, they become truant a little later on after that, then they may be in trouble with the juvenile justice system, then they may drop out when they're only 16, but their attainment level may be only 5th or 6th grade, then they're in trouble with the law, and they're spinning off into the nether space, and they are that group of 16 to 24-year-olds we know that the governor and the Dalio Commission were looking at addressing as well. But that doesn't need to happen in every generation if we have quality early childhood programs, so that children, when they are 5 years old and enter kindergarten, are prepared to thrive there. And that's something that we've committed to, and the governor made sure that we added another $300 million this year to the $300 million we started with last year to make sure that commitment stays on. So again, all of us recognize there's certainly more to do in terms of tax equity and in terms of focusing upon property tax relief. But what we did for this budget, what we just passed in the most recent session, is a significant advance in recognizing the needs that we all struggle with. Thank you all so much.
We'll hear from State Senator Bob Duff, Majority Leader for our State Senate.
Thank you, Madam Lieutenant Governor. Good morning. Good afternoon, everybody. Good to see you here today. It is so great that we're in a school and being able to celebrate the bill signing for our budget. You know your values by your budget. And what we heard this morning, just a little while ago, from our superintendent and our mayor, are real tangible examples of the values that we have here in the state of Connecticut and the tangible ways in which this budget is actually going to help people. Lots of times we pass bills that we're not sure exactly how the policy will work out. We hope it always works out well, but sometimes you just don't know. in this budget, we already heard what's going to happen. Teachers have been rehired. We're hiring new teachers, lowering mill rates to save people on their taxes, bringing real property tax relief to the people of this state. That's exactly what we aimed to do when we were negotiating this budget and we passed this budget, to help the residents of this state with their property taxes and to make sure that we are funding public education across Connecticut. That's exactly what we want to do. And I'm just so pleased to hear that the work that we did, the green button that we all voted with to say yes, has meant that teachers are being hired, not being laid off, and that we're lowering the mill rate in this community and communities around the state of Connecticut. I can tell you that in my district, in the city of Norwalk, where I live, that we have helped to bridge a gap on education funding so that we don't lose teachers, so that we're able to keep counselors, that we're able to make sure that our students in our urban district have as many of the tools that they need to be successful as possible. But not only that, some of the things that are more in other lines in the budget include such things as helping our kids with mental health, partnering with communities across my district to make sure that mental health is still up front as we know it needed to be during COVID, and many other ways in which we're helping our communities. I also want to thank the governor for his work and thank you in the way in which we negotiated this budget and we're here today. Thanks to Senator Looney, who on his last time as negotiating a budget, negotiated one that is literally helping so many people across the state, and I want to give you an extra set of thanks for all that work that you did, Marty. And of course, our fiscal chairs who are here today, thank you for your work as well, because they do so much in the weeds every single day. If any of you are interested in being policy people, spend a couple days with them and you'll see how hard the work is. Thanks to our speaker for all his work. It's always a pleasure to partner with you, Matt, and Mr. Speaker as well. And of course, this wonderful delegation you have here in Meriden. They do work hard. So I can tell you, as somebody who's from Norwalk, they do work hard and they fight for every single penny that they get here in the front into their community. So thank you for your work. Again, this has been a great partnership with everybody. I'm pleased and proud that it is a bipartisan budget and one that will be transformative for the people of the state, and look forward to continuing many, many more years of the same kind of transformation. Thank you, everybody.
Now I'm proud to introduce the Speaker of our House of Representatives, Matt Ritter. Mr. Speaker.
Good afternoon, everybody, and I kind of want to piggyback to start on what Senator Duff said, thanking our Appropriations and Finance Committee chairs. In the House, I've been very lucky to only have one approach chair, Tony Walker from the city of New Haven. Tony is a tremendous partner, a tremendous friend and mentor, and your work constantly shines, not only through the budget document, but the public hearings and all the stuff that you do so that people feel heard in the budget process. And to my left, our finance chair, who represents 37 towns in Western Connecticut, Maria Horn. When Sean Scanlon decided to run for comptroller because he got sick of me, there was no question in my mind who the next finance chair would be. It wasn't based upon how many years she had served. It was based upon her abilities, her ability to fashion compromise, and Maria has been one of the best finance chairs our state has seen in a very long time. It's a pleasure to work with both of you. Thank you for being here today. I am really surprised we are here today. So I'm going to say something a little different. I'm shocked we're here today. Not because it's Fazzino's hometown, but because this doesn't happen in election years. So to you high school students, this is what typically happens in an election year, right? So even years, everybody's running for the ballot. People either say we do nothing, and you get a minimalist budget. Everyone's too afraid to break an egg, so the budget ends up being just kind of left alone and is what it is. But see, that wasn't going to work, because as the mayor alluded to, in February, the mayors came in and said, we need more money. We need additional aid, so we have staff, we have teachers, we have paraprofessionals in the classroom. We're going to be raising our mill rate. It may save your budget, but it's going to hurt our property taxpayers. So we knew right away a minimalist budget, that wasn't going to play. That wasn't going to pass the House of Representatives and 151 members. But then there's another passion or another extreme that takes over in election years. People want to do everything, and they don't care about tomorrow. They don't care what they burden future generations with. They skip a pension payment. They don't put money into the pension fund that we've been doing over time. So you have this passionate caucus of do nothing, do no harm, we'll win our election, we'll do more stuff next year, or we'll just cut everything. We'll take $1.5 billion from the rainy day fund, we'll give it back to taxpayers, and we'll worry about the consequences tomorrow. So what I'm surprised by is that neither of those approaches worked. Because you know why? In the House of Representatives, 127 people, Democrats and Republicans, said that's not what's best for the state of Connecticut. So we can do the stuff that Senator Looney and Senator Duff and others are going to talk about ECS and education funding, money to our municipalities, the Child Care Trust Fund. And at the same time, though, as the governor always says, someone's got to pay for it tomorrow. I'm not going to leave the mess that I inherited when I became governor, as he says, 8 years ago. And 127 people in an election year, Republicans and Democrats, from as far-flung as Eastern Connecticut to Stamford, said that's the right thing for the state of Connecticut. So I am really surprised we are here today. And I'll leave you with this. The only way that happens is leadership. It's constant leadership of people that the members trust, that they respect, and the message is consistent. So when the governor and his OPM secretary are consistent about the Child Care Trust Fund, people listen. When they're consistent about the Budget Reserve Fund being at $4.5 billion and not zero like it was 16 years ago, people listen. When they say, as Senator President Looney said, the Child Care Trust Fund is critical to the future, maybe not today, but for the next 10 years, they listen. So when the top down, your chairs and everybody's aligned about being responsible, doing their best to meet the moment, but not over-promising and sacrificing future generations, that's how you get 127. It might be the single greatest accomplishment in my 6 years as Speaker, not that I did it, but that we had a culture in Connecticut where 127 people said, I'll do what's right for the state of Connecticut. Thank you.
Thank you. So next we're going to hear from 3 people, and I always say, if you want to get hard stuff done, just put competent, smart, effective women in charge, and you will get that. No offense, John Fonfara, but he's not here. So with that, I am going to start by introducing the leaders of the Finance and the Appropriations Committee, and we will start with State Representative Maria Horn, who is the chair of the Finance Committee in the House.
Thank you, Lieutenant Governor. It is, as the Speaker just said, a real privilege to be here and a proud moment to be here to sign this particular budget and look out. First of all, I will say Meriden does have an awesome delegation, so full props to Meriden. So yes, I chair the Finance Committee, which this year in particular has a great deal of pride about the budget because we were both able to listen to the immediate needs and the long-term needs of Connecticut. And you've heard a lot, everybody has talked about how this budget was bipartisan and how important that is, but it was also collaborative. You heard a lot about, the mayor coming to the Speaker and listening. So it was the leaders of the legislature and our great governor, Governor Lamont, sitting down and listening to all of you, to students, to superintendents, to mayors, to all the municipal leaders, and hearing, what do you really want? Do you want, little gimmicks along the way? No, you want investments in our kids. You want, resources that can go to municipalities to help ease pressure on property taxes, which are the most regressive part of our tax code and something that I'm very concerned about. So that was the resounding message that we heard from, and we had the resources this year in order to respond to that, again, to both serve the immediate needs of the state, the medium term as we continue those education investments into the future, and the long term in terms of continuing to pay down our pension debt. So I'm really proud of all of the leaders that have come before me to speak about this and the fact that we were really able to come together and listen to you and deliver a budget that's going to really make a difference for all the people in Connecticut. So thank you.
It's my pleasure to introduce the State Senate Chair of our Appropriations Committee, Kathy Austin.
So, Madam Lieutenant Governor, I'm wondering if I could also speak with my partner in crime.
If you want to do it together,
Representative Walker, because the two of us work hand in glove on so many issues, and we spent a lot of time working over the last year on the budget in particular. So Tony and I have become diehard friends working together on issues, and we don't come from similar districts. I come from small rural communities that often feel like they're left behind. Their communities are small. I got to walk with some of the really fabulous young people here today. They're the best, right?
Oh, really? Yeah.
They're the ones that we're here for.
That's exactly right.
We thought that was the best thing. So thank you very much for doing all you do. It's really important. And Tony, I don't know what else you would like to say.
Oh, thank you.
There you go.
I first of all want to thank the governor. I want to thank you, sir, because for 2 to 3 months, we struggled with how to address the problems that we were seeing. And it was monthly and monthly that we talked. And I appreciate the conversations and the candor that you had about things and how to do this. So I thank you for that, and I hope so much that we will all be back here next year working together doing the same things. But I also want to thank, I want to thank my colleagues. I want to thank Senator Looney, who for let's see, I've been up there 20 years, a few more years. He has been a leader and a trainer and also a good friend to teach me what good government and how we can do these things when we get together and we keep arm in arm. So I thank you, sir, for all you do. I want to thank all my colleagues and my speaker. My speaker, who, when I would go into the office and say, Matt, we just sat up here for 14 hours going through our testimonies and everything, and they want this, and he'd say, okay, but come back next week. And and we did, and he listened. He also listened. There's a theme here. There's a theme. We've all learned how to listen to each other. We're not shutting each other out, and we're not walking away and saying, we're going to do it my way or anything. It was all of us. And my colleague, Kathy and I, she's right. We've become best friends because we come from different districts. And that we learn, and learning is the most important thing, which is why we're here. We're putting money in the opportunities for the beautiful children that are here. We're saying education and learning is the one way this state is going to be strong, and it's going to always thrive as long as we understand that our children come first and they're the ones who are going to lead after us. So if we don't take a measure and really invest in what they're going to have, then we failed. So thank you all so much for this, and thank you, Maria, for giving me the opportunity to find out what Ways and Means really meant. So I hope we continue that. Thank you all for this, and Kathy, thank you for all the work that we do.
All right, thank you, ladies. And now I'm going to introduce our fearless leader, Governor Ned Lamont.
I say to the students, you don't have to go to political science class today. I think you're getting a pretty good education in how it works. And, you know, it starts with our friends in the Appropriations Committee. You just heard, in terms of a lot of our commissioners, who's in our commissioners go and make the case, and these are things we need to keep going and make our investments. Then you've got the Finance Committee, you heard Maria and John, in terms of how we finance this and how we pay for what we got to do going forward. And then the leadership comes in, and the leadership is heard loud and clear from your very persuasive delegation. And I want you to know that you are always front and center in every conversation that I hear. You know, Matt said it pretty well. I mean, it's complicated. In a political year, election year, you know, they don't know how to balance a budget in Washington, D.C. They haven't done it in decades. And not to mention get something done on time. And I'm really proud of you know, Marty and Matt and the leadership. You know, even we got a lot of Republican support as well, and got that budget done on time and made big investments, starting with each and every one of you, because You know, as I point out, I'm not Texas. I don't have oil and gas. I'm not Florida. I can't sell sunshine to tourists, but we have you. We have some of the best students in the world, and that means we have the best workforce in the world. You're here at a school which is just second to none. I was just hearing about Nathan Hale, elementary school, blue ribbon school. Nathan Hale could have been anything. You know what he was? Before he was a spy, he was a teacher. He was a teacher. And you have the best schools in the country right here in Meriden, right here in Connecticut, because you have the best teachers in the world. Just a little aside, as we go through the budget process, we always want to make sure whatever we promise today, we can also keep that promise tomorrow, and we don't like what they call cliffs. And fortunately, over the last few years, and especially right now, we have a very strong growing economy. And that wasn't true 10 years ago. We were, not only was it a weak national economy, Connecticut was weaker than the average. And that really held us back, and we weren't able to make some of the investments we needed to make, and we had deficit upon deficit. You know, today we're in a very different place. Our economy is strong, and in particular, the Connecticut economy has gone from one of the slowest growing to one of the fastest growing, in the United States. And that means we have more taxpayers. That means we have more revenues. Makes it a little bit easier for us to make the priorities and the choices we have to do. You heard a couple of people mention pensions. I'll just give you an aside on that. For years and years, it was pretty easy to say, I'll put it on the credit card. You guys can pay for it later. We don't have to worry about it now. And by the way, these are pensions for your teachers. I want them to know your pension is secure, and we honor our promises. But as an example, our pensions used to underperform how we do compared to other public pension funds. Now we are doing much better than the national average. And what does that mean? That means we get another, say, 1.5% on our pension returns. What does that mean? 1.5% on a $60 billion pension is worth about $900 million. That's $900 million. You did it last year, you do it this year, you keep going. That's $900 million we now have to say, hey, look, I'm going to make sure we can increase funding for schools like yours. That's $900 million that says we're going to have free universal breakfast. And that's $900 million that make sure, as Bob Duff said, let's end the sales tax on school supplies, make it a little easier for you to be able to go to school, and tax-free holidays. That's what we're able to do with the investments we make. And also that $900 million meant that we were able to make the biggest investment in early childhood education in the history of this state. You got little brothers and sisters, little guys, it makes an enormous difference. Hear that from every one of your kindergarten teachers. And by the way, ask your mom and dad if they had that, 15 years ago. It saves them maybe $10,000, $15,000 a year. So that's what I'm really proud we're able to do. And I was able to do it with Matt. I was able to do it with Marty Looney. He's been serving this state for many, many years and has become a really good friend. And I want you to know he's a really good friend for each and every one of you. And that's why I'm so proud to be able to sign this budget. What do you say, Marty? Should we sign it?
Let's do it. Let's do it. Legislative colleagues to please come up, and we'll have, let's get them first, and then we're going to ask the students to come file in too, because we want you to see government in action and you make the picture better.
Except for that Patriots t-shirt.
And I'm just going to say,
Knicks are fine.
We're going to do a photo first. And I'm just going to say that we have 4 pens, so each of our 3 finance and approach leaders will get one, and then Senator Looney, because he's retiring, is going to get one, and Senator Duff and Speaker Ritter will get you later with a pen. Okay? So now we need some kids, students. Come on. Come on, guys.
Go. Get in. Go in there. You guys go. Get in there. Smile big. Let's go. Come on. Keep going. Keep going. File in. See that guy in the suit? He's a nice guy. You talk to him. Let's go. There you go.
Okay. All right. Come on in. There we go.
Get in here.
Okay. And let's give this one to Senator Looney. All right, I'm going to take that one. There we go, and we'll give that to Senator Austin. Thank you. And we are going to give this to Representative Walker. Thank you so much. And we're going to give this pen to the amazing Maria Horn. Very good. Okay, everybody look this way for the photo. Excellent. Thank you.
Thanks, Josh.
I am going to grab that out of here. Is that yours? Yeah, thank you.